Hey there, I'm Robin May, and I'm so excited to introduce you to Elevate Your Life in Just 30 Days. I know that may sound lofty, but I truly believe the next 30 days could have a lasting impact. And here's the thing, just like me, girl, I know you are busy and you're juggling a lot. So I created this to help you prioritize yourself in just a few minutes a day. Over the next 30 days, we'll dive into topics that matter to you, like identifying limiting beliefs, people pleasing, adult friendships, and even strengthening your faith. Each moment is delivered in audio only format, housed within the Patreon app, and it just takes 5 minutes a day. So I want you to listen in to this sneak peek. Check this out. Welcome to day 4. Today we are talking about cultivating emotional awareness. You didn't think we were going to talk about elevating your life and not deal with your emotions, did you? Well, here's the thing. We know that emotions are powerful, but for many of us, especially Black women, emotional vulnerability can feel risky. For years, we have been taught to stay strong and to be stoic, to hide what we feel. Life has led you to build walls around your heart. You've convinced yourself that feeling too much makes you weak or exposes you to pain. But I want you to understand that ignoring what you feel is not the answer. Can I tell you a pattern I see in counseling? I see so many women in therapy who have never learned to access their true emotions. Life happens and it keeps on happening, but instead of dealing with it, they put it on the shelf. What does that mean? Well, my sister Kimberly and I always say that we put things on the shelf that we aren't ready to deal with. We tell ourselves that we'll come back to it later, but later rarely comes. And before we know it, the shelf is so full that everything is at risk for coming down all at once. And that is why people show up in my office and they tell me, my grandmother was so strong, my mama was so strong, my auntie, yes, I said auntie, was so strong. And so why can't I be as strong as them? But what they don't know is that their mother, their grandmother, and the other strong women in their family needed to sit on someone's couch. They just didn't have the opportunity to do so. I want you to hear me, sister. Your emotions are not your enemy. If you are a woman that has learned to push your emotions to the side, if you've been the type of woman who just powers through, if you are the woman who just keeps going despite the heaviness you are carrying, I want you to know that when you ignore your emotions, you lose access to your power. When you shut off parts of yourself, you are also shutting off your pathway to healing. The truth is, without emotional awareness, we can't fully show up for ourselves and definitely not for others. And then by the time we do acknowledge our feelings, it feels like too much. Like we can't control the flood of emotions that come rushing in. I remember a client saying to me, Robin, I can't open that door to what I am really feeling because what if I can't ever close it again? Can you relate to that? If so, hear me. Emotions are like the weather, they come and go. Some days it's going to be stormy, other days it's going to be sunny. But when you understand and identify your feelings, it gives you the ability to weather any storm without being swept away by it. Now, at the top of the conversation, I talked about the fact that for many of us, emotional vulnerability can feel too risky. But there is another side of this conversation. For some of us, the opposite happens. And for the longest time, this is where I found myself. I let my emotions dictate my actions. If I felt something, it ran me, it controlled my reactions. But over time, I learned a valuable lesson, and that is emotional resiliency. And if you can relate to me, I want you to know that emotional resilience is a skill you can develop. You don't have to be ruled by your feelings. You can build the ability to respond to emotions rather than being driven by them. And this is important because if we get stuck in our emotions, then we will stay being controlled by every different thing. We overreact, we take everything personally, and we feel emotionally drained. This happens because emotional resilience hasn't been built. You've never learned how to feel your feelings without letting them overpower you. I want you to understand this. Whether we're talking about emotional vulnerability or emotional resilience, it's all about emotional awareness. And emotional awareness isn't about suppressing emotions or letting them run wild. Emotional awareness means you realize that you can feel something, identify it, and then make a conscious choice about how you respond to it. That's emotional maturity. That's how grown women behave. It's the difference between being reactive and proactive in your emotional life. So here's your action step. I want you to practice paying attention to your feelings. Sit with yourself. Tune into what's going on emotionally. If possible, when you identify the actual feeling, say it out loud or write it down. Once you are honest about your feelings, you can then get clear about what you are thinking. Remember, emotional awareness isn't just a tool for self awareness, it's a key that will unlock more authentic connections, healthier responses, and greater emotional resilience. You're building a muscle, and every step you take is leading to a stronger, more empowered you. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, friend, I hope you enjoyed that sneak peek of day 4. Can you believe how much we covered in just 5 minutes? So each day offers powerful, bite sized audio inspiration just like that, all housed in the Patreon app for just 5 minutes of your time. Plus, you and I get to engage as you share your takeaways. So if you are ready, visit robinmayonline.com/30 days to start your journey. I can't wait to see you inside and support you on this transformational experience.